Hello my friends, thanks for being here. You guys know I love talking about e.l.f. makeup, and I noticed a really interesting, really amazing deal on their website that I thought I would sort of test drive for you in this video and tell you all about it. So if you go to the new section of the e.l.f. website, you're going to see that they have something called a back to school makeup kit, and it costs $38. I mean, that's the total value of it. It's 8 different products, but when all those things go into your shopping cart, they're going to apply a discount to it, and it's going to be $30. $30 for that much makeup, I think, is an amazing deal. And to take it a step further, this kit is fully customizable. So what you're getting in there, you're getting the Big Mood mascara, a retractable eyeliner, the Instant Lift brow pencil, which I love, the camo concealer, home run product, a bite-sized quad, the lip lacquer, the putty blush, and a putty bronzer. Every single part of this kit is a choice, so you can customize it to be the exact quad that you want, to be the exact shade of camo concealer. Like, I think that is so cool. Why aren't brands doing this more? It's like the value for this, the deal, is limited edition, but everything in the kit is a regular line, you know, long-term e.l.f. product. And some of these things, obviously, I had to pick up an eyeliner, and I got a new shade of the putty bronzer that I wanted to try, and I had to get the lip lacquer as well. But in getting those elements and combining them with what I already had, I thought I could put together that 8 product look for my viewers, and they could kind of see what it would create. Because that kind of is the premise of this, is that this would be a simple back to school look. It says, don't let back to school season have you restless. Our makeup kit has the necessities you need late for that 8 a.m. class. Just throw our 8 makeup essentials in your backpack, and obviously, like, I am well beyond school age, and maybe a lot of you are as well, but whenever my mind goes to back to school makeup, I think of the people going to work. I think of a busy mom needing a quick look in the morning. Just anybody who wants efficiency, basically, with their makeup routine. So as I sit here talking back to school, don't say, oh, Em thinks she's a high schooler again. She thinks she's in college again. No, I'm just like, I think this is a good value for everyone, and I'm going to show you all the products going on. So I've put them in a little basket for myself here. We are going to start out, now that I've moisturized and sunscreened and everything. I've got my camo concealer in the shade Medium Sand. So this is maybe just a slight step up from my skin tone. It's a pretty good matching shade for me, I'd say. And this is the regular version of camo concealer, not the hydrating. But as you know, I love them both. I love both options. So this is going to sort of act like foundation. Again, I'm really well moisturized underneath, and it's just a matter of blending this in. I'm going to use my little Real Techniques brush that's technically a highlighter brush, but I love it for concealer. And we'll just go around and build that coverage where we need it. Hit that under eye area. It doesn't take a lot of product, even if you're without foundation underneath. As you can see, this concealer can still be very effective. And this might be a nice time to pull in a dampened beauty blender, because you could kind of make this product spread perhaps even more with that method, you know, cover a little bit more surface area on the skin and really make it be like a foundation if you want. But for me, this is what we're going with. And I think a nice part of this being the regular e.l.f. Camo Concealer being offered in this kit is that it really doesn't require a lot of setting. And we don't have just a plain old face powder happening here. Like, this is our coverage product, and this is it. But if I may skip ahead a bit to the eyeshadow option, if you choose, there are a couple of different quads that you could choose from here that would give you, if you're my skin tone-ish, I realize we're getting a little specific with this here, but there is a light matte shade in the Carnival Candy one and the Cream and Sugar one, and specifically in Cream and Sugar, if we really want to get serious about multitasking, you have a highlighter here as well. So there's a real pull to this basic one for me because of the way it can multitask on my skin tone. So I really do like setting my concealer regardless, even though you could kind of get away without it. With this certain type of concealer, I still like a little bit. So I pick up that light skin tone powder there for me, and I can dab over. Now obviously they don't market this eyeshadow quad for this, but I find it can work for me. I've already test driven this, wearing it this way a couple of times, and it really does work fine, and I can get a little more mattification and a little more staying power, okay? So I'm just using my e.l.f. small tapered brush, and I'm just dabbing it. Just a light bit of the product because it is probably a little more pigmented than your average powder, but I'm hitting the under eye and the T-zone there, okay? That just makes me feel a little better about things. Obviously, if you buy this kit, you might have a powder sitting around at home and you just pull in whatever you got, but I'm trying to make these 8 products work, and if you really are trying to stick to that, this is the most multitasking quad, I think. Okay, now going back to some of the other face steps, you get to pick your shade of putty bronzer, and this is one of the newest things e.l.f. has, and I got a shade called Honey Drip, and I felt like it really wasn't showing up quite enough on the skin, so I went deeper and I got a shade called Sunkissed, and it looks incredibly dark. However, don't panic. These have a little sheerness to them, and I really like using the putty primer applicator with the putty bronzer or the blush. I just like the density. It makes blending easy. I just go right into it, and we're going to apply this kind of around the hairline. And we're going to very, very easily contour with this shade. But there is, you see what I mean? Like, there's some sheerness to it. It doesn't go on in a very, like, heavy, thick, problematic way. But it could cause you to be maybe a little less satisfied with some of the lighter shades. Another neat thing about this is that you don't come away looking like super cakey after you get it on. Show you what a little bit looks like right down in here, like a contour. Again, just buffing it in, real easy. All right, all blended in. Yes, it is even on the forehead, but I've got a little glow going on there. Keep in mind, I'm kind of working off of basically the texture of my moisturizer that I had on because I don't have like my entire face covered in foundation right now. So if there's a little bit more of a glow there, that's kind of maybe just my moisturizer talking a little bit through the product. But I've got that blended in there. I've got a little bit of a contour. That's a cool opportunity to experiment with that product if you haven't tried it yet. Then putty blush. And I, at first, when I was kind of formulating what I would do for this video, I was thinking about the shade called Tahiti, which is a very standard, like pretty rosy color. Like, I think a lot of people could enjoy that. It's a beautiful shade. But then I sort of rediscovered a color that I think is absolutely stunning, and you might not expect it to be from this line, and it's called Bali, and it's sort of like, see this brownish, a little bit rusty color, so pretty as a blush. Like, I really, really enjoy this shade, and if we're thinking fall coming up, if we're thinking about maybe picking one of the quads that has kind of a bronziness in it, like, isn't that so pretty? I love the neutral quality that it has. And you just kind of build it up slowly. Like, I'm not being that careful. I'm just dabbing in with normal pressure. But I really think that's a gorgeous blush. Total rediscovered moment here with that. I mean, isn't this pretty? This shade, you know, you don't quite know with these putty products. If you look at the color that you think you're buying, you're going to be a little bit hesitant, maybe like, I don't know. But you see how they sheer out? So pretty. Now I'm going to go back to that eyeshadow quad, the Cream and Sugar one, which one thing about this quad, I could have handled maybe like this shade being a matte, like started out in the crease shade, because this is very, very dark for that. This one's pretty shimmery, but it definitely can throw a look together on the eyes, don't get me wrong. But for right now, I'm going to use that same small tapered brush, and I'm going to dip right into this shade, which looks like a perfect highlighter, and get a little bit of that on the brush. And just apply it right here, and suddenly I've got a little bit of glow. And not saying you have to have a highlighter in this look, but if you want to stretch a quad just a little bit further, this one definitely has that beautiful light shimmery shade that you can work with in that way, and it's not too glittery. It just gives you a little sheen on the skin. We love a multitasker, yes we do. And dab it on anywhere, who cares? Cupid's bow, why not? kind of dust back over it to sheer it back out. Nice. I'm so happy with the face steps now. And then we're going to move on to brows, where we have the Instant Lift Brow Pencil. Okay, so this has been a product I've talked about for years. It's like a $2 product. You've got your spoolie on one end. You've got a typical thickness pencil on the other, but it is retractable. And I wear this in the shade Neutral Brown. Oops, I think I may have listed this as medium brown in a recent video. Neutral brown for me, okay? And you're just gonna take it on through the brows. It's a really nice texture. It's not too soft, not too firm. It really, I think, lays down the color with ease, but you don't feel out of control. Okay, so this is all you're getting with this look. I'm in some ways a little surprised maybe they didn't throw in the Wow Brow, but this probably helps keep the price down a little bit more by including this. And you know, realistically, people may have a brow gel sitting around at home that they can use to top this off. Not everybody's literally maybe trying to stick to the 8 product challenge. You're just getting it because that's a really good value. But I just really love the customizable quality of this. Like, even if they pigeonholed you into some certain shades and maybe you only got to pick your concealer color, like, it could still be a good deal. But I love that you can fully go through there and be like, you know, I saw Em use that blush, but I'm not convinced. I think I need a pink one, or I think I need a peach one. You know, and you can pick. So there I am with the Instant Lift pencil. Super easy to use. It's a quick pencil for me to use because it's not quite as skinny as the skinnier pencils that are out there. So I love that product. You guys know I've talked about it a ton. Next up, we're going to do the eyeshadow look. And I would advise using something as primer. So we're actually going to use a little bit of our camo concealer that comes in this kit as our eye primer. Yes, I am trying to go by the rules today. I just got a little bit off on my hand so I could control how much I was getting. I'm just going to take a brush and kind of get that smoothed all over my eye area. Got your Milani eyeshadow primer at home? Use that. I'm just an advocate for that because it's thin and I'm not really in love with putting the thickness of full coverage concealer all over this zone, but I'm trying to pick up as little as possible and just help it spread. And again, cream and sugar, I think for this kit, like if you were to just pick one, this is also just a very basic color scheme that can work for about any situation. And if you're around my skin tone, you do have a built-in setting powder. You also have a highlighter in here, okay? So there's a couple reasons why I think it's nice in this kit if you see yourself wanting to multitask. But another one that I really, really love is called Carnival Candy. I love these mattes right here. So this is matte, matte, and matte, and then you have this blue, this deep blue with some shimmer, but you could like put together a real easy kind of like toasty warm look with those 3 alone, but it is kind of cool to have that blue also. And if you want a tutorial on using blue, check out my last video. But we're kind of sticking to this one today because I have used it already in a couple of manners, couple of ways. So how should you go about like popping something in the crease here? It's a real far jump between this color and this color. If we're talking about mixing, I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but what I have done in the past is gone into this bronzy shade and then taken a quick dip of the deep brown and then use those as my crease color. It softens up the dark brown just a little bit, and it also dials back the shimmer of the other shade. They just kind of balance each other. So that's one way you can sort of go at it. You can also use my technique of just placing your darkest shade with a flat brush in your outer corner and then just blending out from there, like kind of wedging it into the crease, and then you bring in a blending brush and just let it kind of smooth out. That can work for that darker shade too, but just showing you a little idea here. Mostly into that, just a little into that. So I really took some time building that up, maybe just going back into the darkest shade after I had enough of this homemade mid-tone laid down. And now it can be kind of pretty to take some of that shimmery bronze and just let it come up over the edge of what you've done there. And it does look glowy and pretty, but you can kind of handle a little bit of that up in that zone, you know? I don't know if you can see it on camera very well, but it's really Really pretty. Just lightly. These shades are really pigmented. If you've never tried an e.l.f. bite-size quad, like the quality is really, really good. Okay, then from there, take your lightest shade and you can take this right in whatever little bit of space is left up under the brow. Very nice. Then a really terrific brush that e.l.f. makes is called the flat eyeshadow brush. It's just great for packing on color. I'm going into our deep dark brown, which also could double as some brow powder if you wanted it to, if you're of the right hair color. And I'm just dabbing that dark brown in the outer corner, on the outer part of the lid, I should say. And an additional function of this dark shade is that if you have a little angled liner brush and you'd like to apply this as liner, like it is so dark and so richly pigmented, you could definitely apply it as liner. Okay, so just dab, dab, dabbing. If it needs to be a really quick out the door morning look, you could also skip this and maybe just go with the bronze all over the lid, nice and light. Then I'm taking our bronze, same brush, just kind of cleaned it off a little bit, and you can pat that on the lid. You can get a really metallic glow from it. It's also pretty if, let's say you chose this one as part of the kit, but then maybe additionally you got this one and you would have some more like shades to combine, even though your cream shades are sort of the same. Another one that looks pretty combined with this is the berry one. The berry one really benefits from a few extra shades, I think. The pumpkin pie one, which is like some nice rich warm colors. And then maybe you want to highlight inner corner with a little bit of that. Again, this brush is pinpointed enough you can really handle those steps with it. And then I'm taking my little profusion brush here into my darkest brown, and I can apply that to my lower lash line. Now, the eyeliner that you get with this kit is the No Budge retractable eyeliner, and this is a newer thing to me, and I got the shade called Coffee. In terms of the rest of the range, it looks like they have a black, a charcoal, or a navy shade. And while I do feel this is a nice long wearing liner, like you can swatch it and it does set up, I don't love the drag. Like I find it's not the easiest to go across the upper lid. At least maybe my shade is. Maybe you get an even more richer intensity black and maybe it would glide on more smoothly. I don't know, but it's just not the best on the market in terms of drugstore retractable eyeliners. But you know, you can get it in this look, you can try it yourself. But I'm just taking a thin amount of that across my upper lash line. In all honesty, if I were doing a quick, like busy school look, I probably would skip the eyeliner altogether. But this is really the only part of the kit that I have some reservations on. Everything else I think is very, very good. Okay, so some of that, just a little brown eyeliner, mainly on like the outer part of the upper lash line. And then they've got the Big Mood Mascara, which is e.l.f.'s newest mascara. And as I said in a recent video, it's the first time an e.l.f. mascara has really worked out for me. Now, I don't love how giant the brush is. It's a large hourglass shaped brush, similar to your Too Faced Better Than Sex and Lash Paradise, only it seems bigger than Lash Paradise to me. So you do have to be kind of careful with the application, but I do enjoy the finished product. One thing I will say in testing it, what was that, last week, the week before? If I put it on my lower lashes, it does tend to smudge a little bit underneath. So either skip this on your lower lashes or put something else there that you know you can count on. But I'll just be working with this today, so I'll just put it on the upper lashes. And then this lip lacquer that's in the set, I got a really beautiful shade, and then I stopped and thought, and I know it's a fluid situation, things are always changing, but like the latest CDC guidance is everybody like wearing a mask indoors, public places, regardless of vaccination status. So the glossy lacquered lip may not be your top choice. If you're going to wear anything underneath, you know, it might be better off being something that's long wear or lip liner or something. But we will stick with the plan and we will show that going on today because I got a really pretty color in that. But look, this mascara, really nice. Like I said, I just have to be careful. I can't quite get in there as much, if you know what I mean, like pushing that mascara into the lashes. I've got to be careful or else I will make a mistake, make a smudge. But it does give me nice length and thickness. It ain't quite superhero, but it is far and away the best mascara e.l.f. has ever made, in my opinion. And if you haven't tried it before and you struggle sometimes with mascara application, put that mirror right under your nose. Look down into your mirror. This exposes the entire lash to you. Like, you put your mirror here, not only can you get a great view straight up the nostrils, but you can see that inner upper rim and the entire lash. And you're looking downward, so you can to some extent push against those lashes, and you're not pushing right against a lid because you're looking downward. So just a thought, I always get the best mascara application when I really remember to do that. And it's not the best for on camera because going like this would look best, right? For you guys to see, but it would not be the best application.
So look down, wiggle, jiggle.
I think I've got about as much on there as my little lashes will handle. And again, I'm gonna skip the lowers because it gets smudgy there. The lip lacquer. I'm kind of enjoying, by the way, the vibe of this look, the color tone with the toasty blush. Again, that's the shade called Bali. We use this pretty neutral quad, or I could really get into something like this on the eyes too. And then I chose this shade called Love Bite. And this is reminding me so much of something I've used recently from Pat McGrath. Also, really that ABH lip gloss texture that I love so much. Do you see how that color's going on pretty fully? It's pretty paired with a lip liner too, but honestly it can hold its own as is. It's got kind of a little flat doe foot applicator. Easy to get right out to the lip line. But I can kind of see why they chose something like this, because it's gloss and, you know, the ability to have a really full colored look all in one. It's just for people needing to be in a mask all day. Hopefully that doesn't go on forever though. Oh yeah, oh yeah. As Biddy would say, oh yeah, you got it. I love this look. The base is concealer, you guys. So we did concealer. We set the concealer in this. We use that highlight. Again, not everybody has to set the concealer. It's like a totally optional step because it does not stay really tacky on your skin. But I'm just saying, if you would enjoy a little powder and your skin tone aligns with it, you do have that in here. Highlighter. The eyeshadows as well. Classic neutral look. Let's put on a little more of this putty blush. It's so pretty. And that putty bronzer, just going for a darker shade. I mean, that really made me more satisfied with the product. But look at this. Love that. And there's no shimmer in these, the putty bronzer or the blush. You're just getting pure color. Easily blendable with a full, dense brush. And Love Bite. Okay, so this shade has shimmer. Did I show it up close? See that? That reminds me of something I must have from ABH. But anyway, guys, I think a pretty darn good full face for 30 bucks. Check out e.l.f.'s website for all the details. I will link to it below. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. I hope you have a great school year ahead, and I will see you again soon. Bye.